Is the new Digimon anime ending already? And what's this about the next series starting in October? Digimon Beatbreak, the excellent modern Digimon show, is almost certainly concluding this fall. It brings me no pleasure to remind you that most Digimon series are only about 50 episodes, give or take. Beatbreaks just had the climax to its third major story arc at episode 37, and with each arc lasting 10 to 12 episodes, it seems like we are about to enter the final stretch. Those who cover Toei and the anime industry believe that the new Dragon Ball Super Beerus remake scheduled for fall 2026 is going to inherit Beatbreak's time slot on Fuji TV. It's not all bad news though. A new Digimon series was just announced with the somewhat silly, semi-interesting title Digimon EGGZ with a Z. Is this a secret sequel or spin-off to Beatbreak or its own thing? Before we talk EGGZ, we need to cover the climax to the Gift arc, episodes 35 to 37, as I owe you a Beatbreak batch review. Welcome to the DigiKnow. If you like Millennium Era retrospectives, this is the channel for you. I have a favor to ask though. I know with the homepage and the algorithmic recommendations, hitting subscribe is kind of old school, but my dream is to get 100,000 subscribers on this one-person channel. So subscribing is a totally free way to help me reach that goal. Okay, let's talk Beatbreak. Timestamps are here too if you want to skip straight to the Digimon EGGZ news. Episode 35, Rampaging Instinct, is a Reina evolution episode. The last members of the Glowing Dawn to achieve Ultimate are finally here after a compelling insecurity side story that saw Reina blaming herself for Pristimon's inability to evolve further than Champion. A Sapotama factory is the target of Gift's latest attacks, which rely on Bombermon, an unused alt evolution for Gammamon from Digimon Ghost Game. Reina smartly gets the factory workers to evacuate before the team confronts Bombermon. In the battle though, Wolvermon can't keep up with the bomb Digimon. The duo kind of felt that speed was their whole thing, which doesn't help with the feelings of uselessness. The team fails and the factory explodes. Bombermon escapes. Innocent factory workers lived though because Reina was smart enough to have them evacuate ahead of time. But that's not what she sees. She doesn't go, wow, I saved that many people. She goes, if I could get Pristimon to Ultimate, then we could have prevented the explosion. Her feelings of inferiority totally blinding her to the great work and decision making she had. In a follow-up attack, this time at a hydrogen power plant, Kyo wants Reina to take the lead, but she struggles with the direction. She says she wants to cut loose and help Pristimon evolve to Ultimate, but she can't. Tomoro, our non-goggle-headed protag, says that if she wants to cut loose and rush forward, then her found family team will support her. Kyo once told her that supporting each other's weaknesses and blind spots is what family does. Now in the present, she hears, quote, we've gained even more family now. Tomoro, Makoto, Kirapmon, Gekkomon, so feel free to cut loose even more. This is wonderful. She's got the green light and a safety net to be as wild as she wants to be. And this emotional permission slip unlocks Bearcatmon. It's a new form I love. I suppose it has some critics who are thinking this Digimon is literally just a woman, and they're not wrong, but the best Digivolutions symbolize a growing bond, the human having an emotional breakthrough, an evolution, and often the Digimon becoming more human / closer to their human. In that regard, I think it's cool that Pristimon's Ultimate is kind of dressed like Reina, with the shorts, the bomber jacket. I'll also say it's really cool to see a heroic humanoid Digimon with darker skin. Bearcatmon is not the first dark-skinned Digimon ever. Bastemon, Shakamon, Diabitmon, the Angoramon Mega from Ghost Game come to mind, but they are pretty rare. It's cool, and I could see how it would be meaningful to cosplayers and other Digimon fans who are always eager for more representation. The new form easily takes down the Bombermon with newfound speed, jet-powered Heelys, as well as a joy and freedom that I adore. My favorite part though is that at one point, Reina wields one of Bearcatmon's spiked iron knuckle things and uses it to get in on the action. Imagine Taichi using one of War Greymon's gauntlets, those Draymon destroyers. Hero from Ghost Game briefly wielded one of Siriusmon's gunblades in 67, but that was in a pocket dimension / dreamscape. So the team wins, Reina feels great, but the joyful celebration is cut short when we transition to a scene of Gift's forces bombing the vehicle transporting World Union President Wong. It looks like we just saw Chairman Wong die in an explosion, making it extra jarring and kind of funny when the end credits start and it's all like girly pop imagery with the ladies of Beatbreak cuddling with their monster friends. Here's a special message for the physical collectors in my audience. There was a live stream news event called Digimon Times last week, and in my opinion, the biggest reveal by far was the announcement of the DIGIVICE Revival series toys. These are non-color screen recreations of the Adventure 99 DIGIVICE in Taichi Orange and Yamato Blue, with new evolutions covering the modern adventure releases. These things are going to be selling for what I believe is an extremely reasonable $32.99 USD, at least on ZeninTCG. A couple years ago, I bought the DIGIVICE 25th Color Evolution Narration from Zenin, with the full color game, great sprites, and mini cinematics. I regret nothing, but I will be so real with you, I didn't really want it for the game or the full color screen. I wanted it for the shell, for the toy, the DIGIVICE. I would have gotten this instead if it was an option back then. I think we'll see these in toy stores and hobby shops in the near future, but until then, the sponsor of this video, ZeninTCG, has them for us via pre-orders. They're also selling custom armor shells, not unlike a phone case, so you can actually take them out and get your steps in without worrying about dropping it or the keys in your pocket scratching it. Digimon Times also revealed Digimon Pendulum Color 8 Celestial Walker and 9 Astral Sentinel, which ZeninTCG has as well. They've also got cases for them, and I'll link to all of that below. I'll put links to the 4 items I mentioned in the description. I personally shop ZeninTCG quite often. This is not me promoting some site I don't use. They stock the stuff of dreams for adult Digimon fans. Thanks for sponsoring the video. Now back to the review. 36 keeps the heaviness going, although we quickly learn Wong is not dead, but collected in the explosion and kidnapped by the Gift organization, their teenage leader Miharu specifically. Sapatamas around the world alert users of a scheduled livestream countdown. It seems Miharu plans to have Wong tell the world about the existence of Digimon and to confess to his horrific crimes surrounding the Kano Island vanishing incident. Tomoro finds Miharu before the others do. She reminds him and the viewer why she's doing all this. Quote, "The world has been twisted. People who have come to Gift are those who've lost hope and want someone to rewrite the world code." She adds that Digimon are more evolved than humanity. That's why we're going to have Digimon lead humanity. That last bit about letting Digimon lead us is fascinating to me. It's not unlike Appmon's Unryuji Knight antagonist, who was kind of a Digimon Emperor type, ultimately bending the knee to the AI superpower Leviathan, not because he was fearful or submissive, but because he was a true believer that Leviathan would lead humanity to salvation. Go watch Appmon if you haven't already. Mephismon, the sort of satanic looking Digimon escorting Miharu, finally speaks, but in a gentle, feminine voice that caught me off guard. Super creepy. I was expecting a demonic low voice. It says, "You don't have time for this. Freedom for Digimon, bliss for people." Literally being a devil on Miharu's shoulder. We are then taken into the past, where we get Miharu's origin story, essentially. After the loss of her parents, her older sister Chifuyu raised her, not unlike Tomoro and his dynamic with Asuka. Chifuyu worked for the World Union as a researcher and sort of accidentally discovered a Digimon through her encounter with Wizardmon. Chifuyu is not afraid of this monster. She believes the power of Digimon will bring humanity happiness, will change the world for the better. But Wizardmon is confiscated by the World Union. Chifuyu is made to believe she's hallucinated the Digimon. There is strategic, deliberate crazy-making from her colleagues and superiors that lead her to a mental breakdown, questioning her reality, her sanity, all while she is meant to be a caretaker for the young Miharu. The younger sister temporarily leaves her bedridden elder, goes for a walk, and finds Wizardmon in an alley in rough shape. The girl donates some of her e-pulse, like a blood transfusion, to heal the wizard. The two of them rush home, excited to reunite and prove Chifuyu was not hallucinating, but when they arrive home, Miharu's sister has taken her own life. It's incredibly heavy. The horrific emotions help Wizardmon evolve into Mephismon, revealing to the viewer that the two Digimon are one and the same. In the present, following some exceptional animation cuts of Tomoro trying and failing to pull Miharu out from the abyss, we end on a cliffhanger. The clock is ticking, Wong is not saved, and Miharu says, "With Chifuyu, with Mephismon, we're going to rewrite this world." I'm kind of speechless. Bravo Digimon, bravo toy animation. Some may find this episode's subject matter too heavy, and I could understand that, but Beatbreak has been heavy with cold heartings, climate catastrophe, war crimes, refugee camps, survivor's guilt, and more. Chifuyu's fate is devastating and, in my opinion, successfully informs Miharu's motivations. She believes the sins of Wong and the World Union go so deep, so much farther than what is on paper. There were hundreds, if not thousands, of Chifuyus whose lives were ruined by the actions of Wong and his cohorts. 37. Kind Magic. The clock is ticking, the stream is minutes away from starting, and we learn Miharu is timing the broadcast up to the minute her sister, quote, fell into her eternal sleep. Rose, Fancy, Jesse, and James, aka Meto and Canon, as well as Glowing Dawn, converge outside the Gift virtual HQ. Them all fighting stops anyone from reaching Gift before the broadcast starts. We get Hosoda-style reaction shots like Digimon the movie, Summer Wars, Bell, to people around the world watching. Miharu's gifted virus attacks Hikarigahama East, and what it's doing is cutting both the power and oxygen in the Shangri-La egg. Citizens who live in there, the 1%, are slowly running out of air to breathe. She'll reverse course if Wong tells the world about Digimon, but still he won't, insisting Digimon are nothing more than glitches that the world doesn't need to know about. Tomoro's e-pulse did something to Mephismon that stuns the ultimate and has Wong going, quote, "That's Could it be? But Lilamon interrupts with an attack that ends that line of thinking. Miharu is absorbed by Mephismon, who much like Shademon and Haruko kind of says, I'm you, I'm your soul. We then get the transformation into a big Mephismon, but not a new evolution, not a mega. Mildly disappointed with that call. Miharu is trapped inside, and Tomoro and Monarch Lizamon kind of dive inside Mephismon, like Magnamon and Rapidmon do to Kokomon and Hurricane Touchdown. Inside Mephismon, there are sequences of code that recreate a version of Chifuyu. This memory code reminds Miharu that the world her sister wanted was one of coexistence. It's Kyo's wish, it's Tomoro's wish. She didn't want her sister stealing the oxygen out of humans' lungs. Monarch Lizamon says, I want you to be part of our family. Miharu says, I wish I'd met you sooner, I've already gone too far. And for a second, I really didn't know if we were about to get our 5th Glowing Dawn duo. Spoilers, we do not. Monarch Lizamon puts down Mephismon with Miharu's blessing. All systems are restored. Miharu says she looks forward to Tomoro's new world, and then she goes away with men in suits, presumably the Ministry of Civil Protection guys under the World Union. It's not exactly a cheery ending for her. No Miharu 5th Digidestined situation. She is off, like Haruko and Shademon, Commandramon and Haruomi, but again, without the freedom element. So that is how our gift arc ends. I think the tactics arc had a stronger ending. Here, my biggest complaint would be that the status quo did not change. The revelation that Digimon exist and the confession that Wong is behind the Kano Island incident did not go out to the public. This could have been a turning point for the series. Then we'd have 10 to 13 more episodes set in a world scenario where Digimon are known, but nobody got to hear the truth. I know it sounds like I'm critiquing a story that wasn't told, and that's not really fair, but I thought revealing Digimon here would have been far more interesting, really a perfect place to do it. Also, Rose is still in the 5 stars, she wasn't taken down, neither were her Jesse and James types. The tactics finale altered the status quo with one of the 5 stars down, the dissolving of tactics, the debut of Monarch Lizamon. Miharu's story was strong. I genuinely loved the conundrum, the questions about the role of violence in Citizen Revolution, but I'm not sure if Gift left a mark. I guess we'll find out in the subsequent episodes. Mind you, Kishiwada, Miharu's right-hand man, who once displayed like a strange water power, is still out there. So I suppose Gift has a second in command for this final saga. Maybe the org will try to rebuild like those tactics truthers who couldn't move on even after everything fell apart. Okay, Digimon Eggs time. So that new Digimon series I told you about. Starting October 3rd, Saikyo Jump, the monthly shonen magazine, will be releasing the all-new serialized manga story Digimon Eggs. It is written by Minato Ayumu, who joined the Digimon Brain Trust by entering and placing in a Digimon comics contest a few years back. Minato's Digital Monster Children Code one-shot caught the attention of the Digimon IP holders, who then hired the mangaka to create Digimon Believers and Digimon Paradox. I think it's an incredible story, a relatively new, serious Digimon fan who proved himself through contests and spec scripts basically, now getting to write official Digimon media. This feels different than the web novel Seekers or the web manga Liberator for the fact it's going to be an official part of the Saikyo Jump lineup. I don't want to give too much legitimacy and meaning to traditional media. I'm a self-published fiction writer. I draft reviews for YouTube, not TV or magazines or something, but there is no denying the cultural value of Jump magazine, especially in Japan. It instantly makes this feel like a bigger deal than a webcomic or web novel published on, Digimon.com or whatever. I will say its arrival on October 3rd is interesting to me, like it's coming after Beatbreak, but instead of an anime follow-up. It reminds me of Ghost Game wrapping up in 2023 and Seekers webcomic starting up then. Seekers was our Digimon narrative project in lieu of an anime follow-up. And with Dragon Ball Super Beerus almost certainly taking that Sunday 9 AM time slot on Fuji TV come October, I think we're probably going to see another break from Digimon TV anime. It's not an Adventure 2020 to Ghost Game situation or Adventure 99 to 02 to Tamers where it was this back-to-back handoff. I think Beatbreak is going to end around October and it will be a little while before our next Digimon anime. It's a tough pill to swallow when Beatbreak is as good as it is. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think as passionate fans we should expect/plan for a reality where there is no new Digimon anime baton pass this fall. At least we'll have Eggs though. Maybe it's a sequel to Beatbreak, given it arrives right as that series is wrapping up. Maybe the 10th Digimon anime will end with Tomoro and the others making some decision that converts all Sapotamas into actual traditional Digi-Eggs, and that kid we see in the Digimon Eggs key art, maybe he's already living in the world of Beatbreak Beatbreak? Is this a secret sequel following a new protag, perhaps? A perspective switch? Let me know what you think about Digimon Eggs coming to Saikyo Jump, about the gift arc climax, the potential end of Beatbreak, those awesome new Digivices. Leave a comment to share your thoughts, subscribe if you haven't already, check out the sponsor ZeninTCG if you want to add a Digivice or a protective case to your collection. Thanks for watching, thanks for your support, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. If you're still watching, you probably enjoy my takes on 2000s era anime, and so you might like my original novel, Dot Monster Revolution. It's over 200 pages of monster taming adventures inspired by anime like Digimon, Monster Rancher, Metabots, etc. It's on Kindle and Kobo, a ton of great reviews so far, and it really is my love letter to this genre that we grew up with. I'll put links to where you can read the first 20 pages and pick it up if you're interested.